Hello, lovely lot. I've now upgraded from being a one car Tesla household for the past 10 years, really. Well, Tesla only 5 to 6. Anyway, now a two-car household. We bought a new electric car, not a Tesla. Reason being, we wanted something extremely affordable. Having a second Tesla, whilst we would prefer, it's just not financially possible. So we bought a second electric car. That second electric car I am now sitting in, it is the BYD Dolphin Surf. The financing figures in this thing, they were pretty much gifting it away in 2025. Being in 2026 now, the thing is incredible value for what it does have to offer. Now, we've only had it for 24 to 40 hours. I haven't fully stretched its legs. I do have initial impressions though, which is why I'm why you're interested in this video. So in this video, I'm going to cover why we bought it, the purchasing decision, and how it compares to the Tesla, especially being a Tesla owner for such a long period of time. How does it feel driving a non-Tesla? Is it worth doing? And yeah, just concluding the video on how I initially feel on the build quality, the driving, yeah, all those lovely things. So if that sounds like an interesting video, please can you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the hype button if you do have that functionality. And yeah, thanks lovely lot for doing so. Let's get straight into the video. So first up, why the BYD Dolphin Surf? As I mentioned before, price was a real big driving factor for us. It was a practical steal, and I'll cover that in an entirely different video. But just from the get-go, the key stuff was there. It was a small car, 4 meters. Well, it's actually less than 4 meters long. Design-wise, it didn't look like a granny car, like just calling out the Dacia Spring and the Leap motor. It just, my personal preference, obviously looks entirely different to different people. I just didn't like the looks of them. This seemed like the first one up from there that did actually look kind of aggressive, especially from the front. Has Lamborghini-esque from an actual Lamborghini designer. Goes from like a 10 to an 8 to maybe a 6, 7 towards the back, especially with that rear spoiler. I think that really carries the back of it off. So it looks like a nice car, especially in the black colour that we've opted for. 200-mile range is aka the long range BYD Dolphin Surf that we have here. The warranty and service, again, absolutely incredible for what it has on offer. 6 years, I think, general warranty. I don't even know what the mileage limit is, but we won't touch it for how much we'll drive in this car. And the battery and motor warranty, again, that's 8 years and ridiculous amount of mileage. So, oh, it also has the LFP battery pack, so incredibly resilient. I know the LFP battery type from Tesla Model Y that has LFP, and I know that doesn't degrade, and it's super practical. I can just charge it to 100% and it will work with it. So super practical for especially a first time EV buyer, whether you're a young driver or you're even in your latter stages, should we say. Again, tons of spec. Has lane keeping if you're on the motorway, though I probably won't get to even use that. Has a rear camera. What else does it have? It has rear parking sensors, rain sense. It's got the rain wiper sensor, intelligent beam, LED daytime running lights. Yeah, it's just got tons of spec. Oh, over the air updates. I don't know if I mentioned that. Oh, and for those that are our Tesla owners, it's also got pin to drive. So from a security perspective, it works in the very same way. Put it into drive, it's going to ask you for a pin to allow you to drive. So even if someone does get access to your car, they can't drive it away without knowing that 4-digit pin. So really happy that BYD actually opted for that Tesla feature, and I actually hope that they continue to look at Tesla and think about other features that they could add, like maybe Sentry mode as one example, dash cam for driving, again very similar, but obviously there's loads of different things they can take from Tesla and use that as inspiration to add to their vehicles, and with over-the-air updates they can do that. So really happy with that. The other thing that I just want to touch on briefly before moving on in the video is the build quality of this thing. The seats are super comfortable. It's a 4-seater, not a 5-seater, but having sat in the back, removing that middle seat, you do get a lot of room, even as an adult. I mean, I sat back from where my position is in the car, and I didn't have any problems being sat behind. So it can carry 2 adults and quite comfortably as well. So, I mean, I don't think we'll go on any long journeys in this car, but if you are just taking some mates down to the pub, for example, you know, it can carry them and they will be pretty comfortable they won't be squeezed up. So, but there's no squeaks, even though there's hard plastic on the areas that you don't touch, obviously to save costs. And the areas where you do have to touch, like the steering wheel, feels lovely. Even the center console, again, bloody lovely. Even on this side here, it's the same material as what's on the center console. Feels lovely. So the areas that you do touch, nice and smooth, premium materials, it's just what you want. So really happy with the design choices that they've opted for. And driving it all back to affordability, it really does nail it on the head. They've nailed that affordability for your first time buyers, maybe looking for their first new car. Again, some of the latter stages that doesn't need too much range, that sort of car. And just us, in terms of just needing that second city car to get from A to B, they've really nailed that offering at that price point. So moving on to the buying experience, but also how it compares to being a Tesla owner, which is again quite a niche area of people. Just because I'd say Tesla offers a very simplified driving, and driving something else, going back to it, you really do show where the advantages of Tesla actually are. So it's quite insightful from that respect. So first up, the buying decision. Well, we had to go to a dealer. I test drove it. I then spent an hour and a half going through paperwork. We then had to sign up to the finance stuff at home. Thankfully, didn't have to do that in the dealership. Then there was another 2-hour wait to do the handover through the tax in and all the other malarkey of doing the handover. Give us the keys, which again, we're not used to having physical keys for the car. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So it's a typical dealership-like experience. Wasn't a bad experience. They did what they had to do, but it wasn't Tesla-esque. Like when you buy a Tesla, for those that know or don't know, as soon as you click buy, everything gets done via the Tesla app. There's no physical paperwork. You can literally do everything there and then. And the collection is literally for collection. They make you sign an agreement, say you're happy with the car, and then you drive off. That's pretty much it from what I remember from it from the last couple of times. So it's not comparable to Tesla in that way. Typical dealership-like experience. Try to sell you service plans, etc., which I didn't think was needed. But otherwise, the actual experience, just typical dealership experience. But I don't think I need to express anything further on that. But how does driving a non-Tesla EV compare to driving a Tesla EV? And it's quite an interesting one, really, because when driving Teslas for 5 or 6 years and only dabbling in a few different other cars, such as the Polestar 2, you really do notice the difference of how simplified that Tesla is in terms of, like I said, I've got the app on my phone for the Tesla. You keyless entry, just walk in, click drive, put the pin into entry, and you go. That's it. With this, and not the car via the key, I have to come in, I have to click the top start button before I then have to put it into drive, to then have to do the pin to entry. There's just a lot of steps within that process, and it's the same on the way out again. Even if I open the door in the Tesla, it will then it'll put it into park, and I don't think this does that. So it's just that one step up with a Tesla. But if you're coming from a petrol car, for example, and this is your first EV as a city car, it'll probably feel a bit like that step forward towards that Tesla-esque experience. So it'll feel like a step up. But whereas for us, it just feels like an in-between of running that petrol car and having that experience to having a very simplified Tesla experience. And I mean, it goes into the actual driving experience too. I mean, one of the biggest things is that it doesn't have one pedal driving. Other EVs do have that one pedal driving. Not all of them, but most of them do these days. And that's purely because it is quite a nice experience to find, because as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, it starts to slow down. This car, as soon as you take the foot off the accelerator, you do feel the brakes very slowly start to slow you down, and then after a while it starts to carry you forward, very similar to like a creep mode in a Tesla, or just in a petrol car, you're normally used to your car sort of starting to drive yourself forward. So that was something that I noticed was very different compared to driving a Tesla compared to driving this. Something you get used to, especially if you're driving a petrol car. It'll feel probably 1-to-1 actually in that respect, but otherwise it is quite a nice car to drive. The braking pedal does feel kind of smooth when I do it. I do actually like the brake feel to it in that respect. I do prefer the one pedal driving though, so that's something that they could prove next year. Steering, the turn circle is incredible. Demis function, again, that is incredible. As soon as I turn it on, 30 seconds, the thing just wipes out any mist that's around. You can hear it. It's quite noisy, but it does the job to what you want it to do. Being at the moment, it is extremely cold within the last 24 to 48 hours. We're talking minus temperatures, 0 degrees, etc. So the windows have steamed up quite excessively. I don't know why it's been doing that, but I've just not quite got the settings right, I think, and that. But I think it's just because it is extremely cold. So I won't jump to conclusions there. Otherwise, there's no driver profiles like you would have in other cars like Tesla. I do have electronically controlling seats, which is very similar to what a Tesla have to offer as well, and how it's placed and the knobs and stuff that they use. So again, something that is quite similar to what I'm used to. Otherwise, just talking about, why was it worth going from having another EV that wasn't a Tesla? Again, the Tesla thing, a reason why we didn't go for another Tesla was primarily just affordability. But just, we already have the wall charger. It makes perfect sense if you already have home charging facilities to get a Tesla, just because of the affordability from this. I'm expecting this to do at least 4 miles per kilowatt hour once we get some more milder weather. And even to summer, I'm expecting over 5 kilowatts per hour. So this thing will pretty much run on air, especially because like the rates that we get charged are 7 pence per kilowatt hour. So, I mean, if you do the maths, it's just going to be incredibly cheap to run. Insurance was much cheaper than what I initially thought as well. So this thing should just be really nail on the head. Affordability, A to B, perfect if you've got another electric car and you just want something to supplement that. So that was the main drive as to why we got this purchase, and the main reason why we did opt for it. So yeah, to conclude the video, are we happy with this purchase? I'd say I'm actually pretty reassured after 24 to 48 hours. I will do a more cleaner review for you with B-roll video, etc. That will come in a later date if you want it. So do let me know in the comment section below if that's something that you're after, and I will show you the driving experience and all the little nitty-gritty bits for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give the video a like. Subscribe to the video if you haven't done so already, and just drop me a comment with any questions that you do have. I will answer them. And don't forget to check out the links in the video description. You think it's been great, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.